Right, folks, what's happening in the world of showbiz today? Well, not a lot again. It's very quiet, honestly. I've got 3 or 4 quick stories for you. I'll just give them to you quickly. These are the 3 or 4 nuggets that I gleaned today, if you can call them that, and you can't really. Not much is happening, as I say. Put the bins on for it, because I can't see without. You know I can't. Richard E. Grant, he's come out today. Now, I don't mind Richard, he's okay. He's having a pop at somebody, a household name. And therein lies the problem. He's not telling us who this household name is. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. He's doing a David Jason on us. Yes, what's happened is his daughter's been a runner on some show or some film somewhere. And whoever this household name is, they've not known it's Richard's daughter. And Richard is saying, they treated my daughter abominably. They were awful to her. Absolutely awful. And he's come out saying it's not on that these big stars, these household names, should be as awful as they are. Well, name them and shame them, Richard. Let's see who they are. Let's turn on them. Let's all collectively turn on them. I'll tell you what, you name and shame them, they won't be as bad with anybody else further down the line. They'll be frightened to death to be. Now, all right, that means we won't see the real them. That means they'll be putting an act further down the line. But at least you'll save other young girls and young lads from getting abused by these household names. You can't come out and call someone without calling them. Tell us who they are, man. KERRY, I'll leave her till last. Somebody saying John Fury shouldn't turn up at the next Usyk fight with Usyk and his son, old Tyson. I'd say don't have him turning up in Tyson's company at any time. He's just a bomb waiting to go off all the time. He courts publicity. He'll cause an argument in a completely empty room, that fella. You don't want him anywhere near you, Tyson. You've got enough on your plate without your dad putting his 2p in. Right. What else? Vanessa Feltz, she was on to, you might have seen. I felt sorry for her, really. There's been a time I didn't like her. Her indoors ain't that keen on her. I don't know why. But I don't mind her now. I quite like her. She's all right. She don't mean no harm anyway. Don't mean no harm whatsoever. She's saying, I've always had a thing about my weight, always. Now, I did read yesterday. She was saying, I wish this Ozempic could have been around. I would have known about it a few years ago. I've recently had the old gastric band fitted to lose weight. And it's worked, she said. But I would have rather have took the jab. I much rather would have took it, she said. And they said, well, why did you take it? The band ship. Well, I was getting lambasted from everywhere for my weight. I always have been. I've had it since being a kid. I had an awful growing up. They said, why? She said, well, my mother was awful to me. Absolutely awful. She was always saying I was overweight and calling me shape. I said, that was the sad thing. I wasn't. They said, well, what do you mean? He said, well, at 9 years of age, I started to sprout. You know, up here, folks. You know, sprouting. They're only small, but they started to appear. I didn't know what they were or where they'd come from. My mother was beside herself. Took me to the doctor, said, what's going on here? They said, well, she's getting older, she's maturing. You know. I don't think he used the term sprouts of the doctor. I don't think he did. But it's nature, Mrs. Feltz. Oh, I don't like that. She said, I'm not happy with that at all. She said, hey, my mother just assumed that I'd grow bigger hips and this, that, and the bum. And like you do when you start to mature, you start to, you know. She said, so she had me on diet straight away. She said, they're all having big fancy soups full of everything, including dumplings. She's got me on half a grapefruit at 9 years of age. Half a grapefruit. And the thing is, she said, I've always been told I was fat, even when I wasn't, because I wasn't at the time. I've always been frightened of food, would never taken it. And then as I got older, and my own boss, I started to realise what I'd been missing, like food more and more and more. And I've got to admit, I did eat too much of it. I did put weight on. She said, but in this business, it's all about fat shaming and weight. They're always calling you. So I thought, well, I've got to lose it. And the gastric band was all I could think of. I felt sorry for her, folks. I really, really did. Fancy giving your daughter half a grapefruit and feeding you the rest of the family in front of her, eating in front of her. It's not on, is it really? Not on at all. No, it's not nice. What else did there? Was something else. Wait a minute. There was a couple of things. I want to make sure. I'm sure there's 2 things. No, there's only one more. Yeah. It's our old friend KERRY KATONA. I'm reading there today. I've read today. She's got a clothing line out. I didn't know that. I'd not heard that before. It's close to going under. Close to going under. I think companies. Someone's a couple of months from striking the company off. Striking it off altogether. She's got some debt there and it's close to going under. Anyway, they're talking about it in the press and I'm thinking, well, that's her own clothing line. Doesn't look like it's going to last. It was only a few weeks ago we heard about a good friend Katie. She's promoting a clothing line. This one isn't her own. She's promoting it. And everybody's saying the clothes are crap and they paid for stuff and they're not getting orders. And when the orders come and they want to send stuff back, they're not getting refunds. They're saying the same with old KERRY's brand. The stuff they're getting, when they want to send it back, they can't get refunds. Something's going amiss. They're not happy. And then we hear that Kerry and Katie are going to share the stage over Christmas time in pantomime. Is it in Northwich or why? They're going to the Bright Lights of Northwich. London wasn't for them this year. They ended up in Northwich. And they're doing pantomime together. I thought, well, that'll be ideal for them. They'll have 6 weeks to talk about clothing and failing companies. And now maybe going forward, they could look after folk rather than let folk down. That'd be a good idea. You know, they've got all this money. They've owed all this money. They go bankrupt. They start again. They go bankrupt again. All right, they're both making a few quid taking the clothes off. Why don't they just carry on taking the clothes off and making money rather than selling clothes to folk and letting folk down? Because folk nowadays haven't got money. It's a struggle out there. Everybody's struggling. They're only buying because of their names. They've got people who follow them over a cliff. I don't know why. They're buying because old Kerry and Katie are promoting it or selling it. And then they find they're getting let down. It's not on. It's not on, you know. As I say, have a good chinwag or two when you're in Northwich and get things sorted. It's the right way to do things. It is. Don't care what you say.